Yo. Yo. After almost 2 weeks. How rude. Yeah. The first thing we need to know is how is Lily? Um, she completed her treatment. However, she's probably still going to start chemo soon. And I brought her to the vet last night because a completely different leg, she didn't want to put any weight on it. Have her on some pain meds, but we don't think it's also cancer. Um, yeah, she's going through a rough time right now. Also, one of my dogs got some kind of respiratory thing and it just spread through our whole house. A lot of sick dogs. A lot of sick dogs right now. It's been a movie. Is this the best Stanley Cup ever? Oh yeah, it owns. Also, the viewership's great too. I think the NBA semifinals and the finals have been great too. Dude, I'm so excited for this weekend. This has been the most excited I've been for an MDI in a long time. Is this MDI in person? No, but the top 4 teams go to BlizzCon unless one of the top 4 teams isn't Chinese, in which case only the top 3 teams will go to BlizzCon. So, in all likelihood, the top 3 teams will make BlizzCon. Mike sounds hella good. Nah, it's just like the regular one. You just haven't heard my voice in a while, man. That's all. And then there's a lot coming up over the next few weeks, bro. I'm actually going to be streaming like an insane amount. And I actually mean that. And I know an insane amount for me is like literally normal, but like an actual insane amount. So obviously I'm going to be co-streaming the entire MDI. Very excited for that. And then Fellowship is on the 22nd. And I'm going to be playing that all day, every day. And then the week after that is Diablo 4 season, and I'm going to be going absolutely donkey stupid on that shit. Testing has to be soon, too? Oh, yeah. Yeah, raid testing, yeah. And Sporewalker Cho's out next week, too. Although I don't think there's going to be a ton of content from that. I was sad you missed the Siege of Orgrimmar Race World first. Okay, let's talk about that. So there's a reason for that. So I would have loved to have watched the Race World first for Siege of Orgrimmar. Small problem. I didn't know it was happening. So I deleted Twitter off of my phone like 3 weeks ago just to like, you know, I feel like I just look at Twitter too much and it like sucks away my life and I don't want that. I think you guys could probably all relate to that in some way, you know? But I forgot that it's very needed for my job. So what would have normally happened on any regular day is I would have like woke up and I would have saw a tweet about classic Siege of Orgrimmar and I would have streamed because of that. But I actually did not know it happened until later that night. So like the only reason I didn't stream it is because I didn't have Twitter. So I reinstalled Twitter for that reason. There really wasn't a race since progress stopped. It doesn't matter. It still would have been fun just to watch the bosses again. Go down memory lane type shit. So you forgot about your job for 2 weeks, so that's why you've been gone. I mean, I was taking like a little mini like reset thing, but also I've been dealing with a lot of dog stuff. Lily, there was a time where Lily was going to the vet every day, for treatment. She's starting chemo soon. All three of my dogs got a respiratory thing. Reptar got it somehow and then gave it to the other two. And then they've been hacking and coughing for 2 weeks. I've been to the vet a lot. So, yeah. Uh, what is it? Deleting the app without deleting your account doesn't count for shit, though. That's like someone giving up things for Lent just to do it the 11 months a year. Okay, deleting my account on Twitter isn't really an option for me. That would just be throwing money away. Like when someone's like, hey, you want to do this sponsor deal? They're like, all right, cool. We'll give you X amount of money to stream it for 2 hours. Okay. And then we'll add an extra 40% if you tweet about it. Because of your following on Twitter, you literally make more money from sponsor deals. So like deleting your Twitter is like 100% not an option for me. Plus, I do think it actually matters. Deleting the app matters. Like I'm usually, I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm probably on Twitter for bare minimum. I mean, staring at my phone and just scrolling Twitter bare minimum 1 hour a day, probably before I took it off my phone. And then that went to 0. I never looked at it ever. I feel like that still matters. That's still like an hour of your day that's back. And that was the point. So I don't think that, you know what I'm saying? Deleting the app without deleting your account doesn't count for shit. Well, I don't know what we're counting, but if we're counting the amount of time I'm looking at Twitter, it absolutely, it makes a huge difference. What content on Twitter was making you feel bad? All of it. It's a complete fucking waste of time. Actually, sometimes it's really fucking funny. But when it's not really funny, it's just a huge waste of time. Usually what's wrong with me on Twitter is like, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this too, but like I look at like tweets that I know are like, oh damn, some people are gonna be mad about this, and I click it to look at the comments to just see people obviously be really mad. And then the algorithm feeds you more of that shit, so you're just constantly stuck in like a rage bait circle. Even WoW Twitter is insanely bad for how small it is. Oh, I don't follow WoW Twitter at all. There's like never a WoW tweet on my Twitter unless it is like a big event, which is kind of how I missed the Siege of Orgrimmar race. Hey Max, what are you back from? I didn't like go on a trip or whatever. I've been home. I've been doing stuff, just not streaming. Took a little time off stream. Plus, also I'm dealing with 3 sick dogs, one of whom has cancer. Twitter ends up being an echo chamber or rage bait algorithm. Yeah, yeah. TikTok and Twitter have algorithms based on gender and interest to keep you in these depressing cycles. Dating apps are much the same. How do they profit from you finding your soulmate? Oh, that's interesting. What's the thought there? Like dating apps intentionally keep you there longer? Like, are you insinuating that dating apps know who your soulmate is, but they keep them away so you keep swiping and going on more dates and keep subscribed for longer? That's a conspiracy theory I could maybe buy into. I think what's more likely, like, I think when someone's really down bad for a relationship, they like sign up to those services and they buy the ultra premium edition where you get more like giga likes and shit like that. Like, I remember, like, I mean, I was in a relationship for 5 years, and then I've now been in another relationship for a year and a half, almost, yeah, a little bit more than a year and a half. And in between that time, I was single for like a year or 2 years. And like, I didn't want anything to do with the relationship for most of that time. But once I did, bro, I signed up to like 2 of those things, and I signed up for the fucking ultra platinum edition. And I feel like even if you find someone right away, they still make a decent amount of money just from you signing up to the service at all. Like, they do a really good job of monetizing even just the one time going on there. But yeah, I guess you're right. Like, if people just when they were single went on there and found someone right away, they wouldn't really make a lot of money. They profit by not showing you who you like unless you pay for the sub. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, also, what even is a soulmate anyway when you're saying that? Although, interestingly, when you said soulmate, you said soul, like SOLE, like they have the same size shoe and foot as you. That's true love right there. Holy fuck. But yeah, it's not dating as soon as your soulmate. Yeah, I mean, also, y'all believe in that soulmate shit? For real? Yeah, are y'all on that shit? The like, there's literally, of all 7 billion people, there's only one person, like a single fucking person, and I happened to find that exact person. That statistically just sounds insane, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people, especially as they get older, they'd be willing and they'd be more compatible with like more people, you know? I feel like a lot of people would be open or like would be willing to settle down with like a lot of different people actually. You just need to find someone who's great. I think a soulmate is more the person you choose. Yeah, I think people say that as like a it's just like a term. Like you're basically saying I found someone that works really well with me and I want to stay with them forever. But that's not really what that means, right? I think like isn't the soulmate theory like there's literally one other soul on this earth for me. One. And I found him. Random question, how long have you been streaming for? Uh I've been streaming for like okay, so I was like very part-time, like turned it on to like 10 viewers until BFA. I started full time. The first time I had hundreds of viewers, and the first time I went full time was in BFA, uh, right after Old Year. Basically, cashed in on the Race World first hype is when I started like really putting time towards it. I like basically was out of like the second college I went to, and then I was like, man, I don't really know what I wanted to do. I like went to a bartending school just to try to like make some money. And then I was like, I graduated the bartending school, and part of the bit of the bartending school and why you would ever do that is they have like connections that'll get you a job. Like there are restaurants that will hire directly out of it. So it's like you're paying for like learning how to do it well, but at the same time you're also paying for like a reference and like getting a job. That's the point. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Um, but I did that, and then like literally it was like the race happened, and then I'm just like, dude, if I'm ever gonna do this streaming thing, I just got to do it now, and I just like full sent it, and it worked out. But that was when was that? Let's see. Uh, Battle for Azeroth release date August 14th, 2018. Okay, so I started streaming like a month after that. Yeah, so in like I've been streaming for 7 years and 9 months, something like that, full time, which is a long time. The soulmate theory is just a fun story from Plato about how people used to be complete beings in the past, but were split into two halves that need to reunite or something. Yeah, yeah, the fun story I can get behind. Uh, will there be a race world first for this new raid? Sporewalker Cho. Um, I mean, what we're going to do is we're going to log on and we're just going to kill it a bunch of times for loot. It's not intended to be really challenging for us. I mean, we killed it in testing really quick. So, yeah, it'll die pretty fast. What's the boss's actual name? Gormule. Rotmeyer. Oh, okay. That's less fun. Chen Spore Stout. I hope they make Sporewalker Cho canon, though. It is. Rotmeyer is Sporewalker Cho, right? Yeah. When Lorewalker Cho fell off that big ship that crashed, the Vindicar or whatever. What was the big floating like ship? Some of y'all know the name of that shit. No, it's not the Black Pearl, dude. All right, y'all don't know it. It is the Vindicar. Yeah, well, when the Vindicar crashed, Sporewalker Cho fell out, landed in the swamp, or Lorewalker Cho at that point. Then he was corrupted by the swamp. Now he's Sporewalker Cho. That's the official lore. Sorry for spoilers. I thought we had MDI last month. We had MDI. We had all the cup stages. All right, here, I'll show you. Raider.io. So basically what we had so far was we had 3 cup stages. All right, let's work. Okay, sweet. So, oh, there's a fucking timeline right here. So they had the time trials back in April. They had the Group A, Group B, and Group C. China just had their regionals, and then the season finals starts, like the finals for all this. So how that's gonna work is, right, this is for the season finals. Oh, we already know the matchups and everything. So we have Dignitas, which is that is missed count, and they're fighting Anti's Angels, who I am completely unfamiliar with. Possible Liquid versus Mandatory in the corner, or in the Liquid's bracket is rough. I mean, well, you have to play I feel like playing Mandatory, Triple Threat, or Miscount is all going to be pretty similar. I think Mandatory had, like, technically the most impressive cup, right? No deaths, no losses. Big Lucky and Mandatory are probably the best 2 teams. Oh, I'm unfamiliar with Big Lucky. Who the fuck is Big Lucky? Oh, does China have a banger? Is it a Chinese team? It's Henry's team? Oh, shit, bro. That's sick. Big Lucky looked really good. They had insane cups. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Okay. I'm glad there's a good Chinese team, because low-key, it was going to be really awkward if, because basically how this works is the top 4 teams So the people who make the grand finals, the third team who lost in the lower finals, and the fourth team who lost in the lower semis, those teams are all going to go to BlizzCon unless one of those teams isn't Chinese, in which case only 3 of those teams would go to BlizzCon, and they're just going to make one of the Chinese teams go anyway. So the fact that there's actually a banger Chinese team is sick. Hopeful said mandatory never had any hard matches, probably running Disneyland routes. Yep, true fucking facts, by the way. Facts. Although I believe I saw that mandatory has like a mandatory has had like a little boot camp, right? Like they had an IRL, like they met up and did MDI practice. Is that correct? And as far as I know, no other team did that. I think that is not nothing. I think that is actually like pretty important. I think like actually like meeting up and like having lunch together, having dinner together, playing together all in one location for your like week plus of, or like 2 weeks of practice is like actually insane. I think it's really, really good. Dude, that is kind of funny when we were like, okay, Liquid just needs to qualify for the MDI, and it doesn't really matter for seeding because you don't know where the Chinese teams are going to end up. And it looks like they gave the Chinese teams the 6th seed, the 5th seed and the 7th seed, right? Or no, the 4th seed and the 7th seed, because it goes, right, let's see. It should be 1, 2, 3, and then isn't it 4, 5 in either order? I guess it doesn't technically matter. Actually, 4 and 5 are literally identical, and then 8, or 8, and yeah, 2 plays 8 and 3 plays 7. No. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, and 3 plays 6. Okay, so they gave them, what's the other Chinese team? Is it Sen Spellbook? Why do you draw your 7 like that? Why do you draw from your 7s from the bottom up? Wait, hold on. I mean, I have terrible handwriting. I didn't really pay attention when they taught handwriting. My handwriting is dog shit. I draw multiple letters from the wrong direction. I just never cared. But wait, is that not... Wait, y'all draw that shit like this? It's the same thing, bro. That shit is such... It's the exact same thing, man. That's a good-looking 7 right there. Dude, mine looks better. Y'all learn... Dude, I was just fucking innovating at a young age. Wait, let me do the 5 again. That's a good-looking 5. No way you do your 5 like that? Wait, how are you supposed to... I did not just make that up. I did not just make that up. It's not rage bait. Wait, how do you guys draw... 1 second. How are you supposed to draw a 5? How do you write number 5? You should write 5 by starting at the bottom left of the swoop and drawing upward. That's the method that would result in far less distance. Wait. Wait, that's fucking legit. That also feels... I mean, mine's fine. Go to images. How to write the number 5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, take me here.
Welcome to Latami's Kids Learning. I'm your
Yeah. Okay.
sleeping line, standing line.
Is that how you guys do it?
And bottom line.
That 5 looks ass, bro. that 5 looks terrible. Okay, drawing it that way is strange. Someone says I do flat across at the top and then I go down and around after. Nah, it's nonsense. Civilian writers, some of you. Yeah, I promise you, I was just the most like crazy ass ADHD kid when I was in school. I'm pretty sure if there's video of them teaching how to like you're supposed to write these letters, I was literally just bouncing around the fucking classroom, bro. Like I was just completely I was like, bro, I see a 5. I could probably draw that. And I just did it. I just made it all up. I can understand the 7 logic because the 7 logic is like right. It's like you guys do this, right? You go left down. Wait, which way do I do it? I mean, can we at least agree that like okay, it might be different, but like I feel like low key it's the same shit. I feel like it doesn't really matter. Max, are you left-handed? I've seen a lot of people who are right-handed write 7. No, I'm not left-handed. I just didn't pay attention when they taught you this stuff. That's all. What's the worst way to write a 7? Is it disconnecting it and doing that? Line up, line down. Yeah, that's bad. Can you draw the cool S for us? Yeah, dude, I used to do that shit in school. You do the 3 lines. Oh, fuck, I forget how to do it. It's like, is it this? And then you hit the shit on the top. There's some crazy shit, bro. There's some crazy shit. I forget. Isn't it like you cross the lines at some sets? Is it this? Oh, wait, we're cooking right now. We're fucking hard cooking. And then it has like a little, oh shit, that one's wrong. It has like a little house connecting the bottom, and then there's some other shit that happens here. Wait, hold on. Lines go the other way. Get a mirror, and he did it right, LG. Oh shit, boys. Oh, I already fucked it, bro. I already fucked it. I don't. We're not learning. I'm embarrassed now. Millennial cult member spotted. Dude, I used to do that shit with ease. It's been a long time though. Max, what's your prediction for the World Cup? No idea. I think they are in my city though. I'm kind of expecting traffic to maybe be bad for that. Max, are you aiming for a world first on the new boss next week? I mean, I think anyone can get world first on it. It's not hard. So if someone raids before us, then they probably will. But man, if we did get it though, would it be a 7, Pete? It would be a 7, Pete, right? Yeah. What's your streak right now? 6? It depends on how you look at it, but a smart man could call it 6 in a row, yeah. Do 2 15-man raids. We were going to do the 15v15 thing until we saw how easy the boss was, and then it was just like both groups would just one-shot it, so it doesn't matter. Also, we're missing a player, so one group wouldn't be full. So we're probably just going to do it like regular style, I think. $25, man? Yeah. I mean, you guys have VODs of us testing it. Within the hour, we came up with like 3 or 4 viable strategies. Some were more conservative than others. What we ended with was like basically stacking all the ads within the boss's hitboxes, but still away from each other. I hope you're there for all 18 runs on Tuesday. Yeah, they're trying to get me to stream it. Max, will you be willing to stream for 2 hours minimum for Sporefall? Unfamiliar with Sporefall. Are you talking about Sporewalker Cho? Question mark. Yeah, I'll be live for that. Have you guys ever heard of Titan Quest? A game called Titan Quest? Yeah. Is it a banger? Game is goated. Titan Quest fucks hard. All right, well, I got a sponsored stream offer for it. Wait, when is 6:15? Is that during the MDI? No, that would be June 12th, 13th, 14th. So this would be June 15th. All right, basically I got an opportunity to stream. Well, actually, let me double check. Is it an ARPG? It's a pretty low offer, honestly. It would have to be like you guys think the game's awesome for me to do it, because it's not like a crazy good offer. I'm going to pass, I think. I'm going to pass. Hey, Ella. Are both China teams guaranteed to go to BlizzCon or just one? Just the one who scores higher. If you get a sponsored offer to play the new Grim Dawn expansion next month, I'm dropping gift bombs like crazy. Wait. Grim Dawn. What is that? Sounds like it was made by the same... It was developed using the Titan Quest engine. How'd y'all play all these games that I didn't play? Dude, I was such like a WoW-only player for so long. Like, within the years of, like, 2011 to 2010, honestly, like, 2010 to, like, 2016, 2017, I didn't really dabble in any other games. I was just fucking sucked into World of Warcraft. Just straight sucked in, bro. Wait, someone sent me a picture of the S thing. Bro. He did a little Joker hat on top of it, though. Bro! Am I in a cult? This stream's about to get shut off. Holy shit. Forcing a Chinese team to go to BlizzCon just to get shit on is crazy work. Well, they're not going to get shit on. I mean, so that was kind of the fear, but it turns out that one of the Chinese teams is really good, so... The other Chinese team is facing mandatory off the rip. I don't think they are, right? Did I look at it wrong? I was already on the MDI page, by the way. Oh, is Interrupt the other Chinese team? Fellowship in 2 weeks? Yeah, I've been playing a lot of the test. Like the non-streamed test for the upcoming thing. It is very, very cool. They actually had a reset yesterday, I think, so I could get on there again. You got to test the new gearing system? Yep. Yeah, I've played the new gearing system. I've played a ton of the new class. There's like a new queuing system as well. It's sick. Max, are they still holding off on letting you play Eternal week 1 of Season 3 Fellowship? I believe they went back on that. I could look at the last post, though, but I believe that that has been nixed. I mean, that would kill the game for me. I wouldn't even play. Because I'm going to hard play Diablo when that comes out, which gives me a week after Fellowship. Eternal's unplayable right now? Oh, on the current reset? Or do you mean like on live? Fellowship on live. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the end of a season, and they also have a decent amount of players playing a test version of the next season, which is even hurting that even more. I could see if there's any more posts recently. I think they had like a roundtable thing. But I'm not going to look at that, I don't think, because I've been playing it. I get it. I know someone in Frank had a video he wanted me to look at. From a YouTube channel I've never heard of called Cartridge Bros. He has a video called Kill the Bench. Oh, wait, isn't this the this is the guy. This guy interviewed me at one point. But I mean, I can get behind the kill the bench thing for multiple reasons. Protect the unit, bro. Fucking protect the unit. Yeah. They're coming out with 3 more dungeons. Bro, yeah. Yeah, the new dungeons are a movie for sure. I think they recently balanced them, though. What other videos does this channel have? How to recover from a 1% wipe at the end of the night. What the Navy taught me about toxic Warcraft leaders. Yo, I'm actually kind of down for that. He has good videos. Looks like he basically has only been making videos like recently again. Looks like he had like he's had 9 videos in 2 years. And 3 of them have been within a year. That's fine. Looks like the stuff he's done recently has gotten more traction, so. All right, let's check this shit out. What do you guys want to hit first? Kill the bench, stop the tilt, or fix your team? Kill the bench, dude. Fucking W.
If your guild looks at the bench as a dark corner where bad players go to sit and think about their mistakes, your culture is fundamentally broken. When you're pushed...
If your guild looks at your bench as a dark corner where you hide your bad players. I mean, that's kind of a fucked up way of looking at it, right?
Pushing for cutting edge, you are locked into a strict 20-man roster limit. But a healthy guild needs 23 to 25 elite players to survive the tier. Most raid leaders handle this horribly. They ghost their standby players, they make roster decisions based on favoritism, or they wait until someone burns out completely before making a change. Today, we're throwing out the toxic concept of the bench entirely.
Okay. Well, what is he saying? Also, I'm starting to think that he's not talking about killing the bench podcast. So I mean, we can still watch it.
We're replacing it with a real-world military framework that removes the shame, maximizes player utility, and will save your guild's morale.
Okay, I'm actually hard interested. What is he suggesting? Because, like, I feel like every guild does this, right? Like, they have... You want to have more than 20 people so a raid night doesn't come up and, like, someone's not there and then you just all waste your time. But that doesn't mean, in an ideal world, that players 21 through 24 are just, like, fucking dog shit, you know? Like, they're just completely unusable. I think the idea is they're, Is he saying, like, you intentionally rotate, maybe, instead of just having them be... Because, I mean, there is that, too. Like, I feel like when most guilds make a roster for a boss, at least what I do is I'm like, all right, who are our best players? All right, let's slot them in. And then who's, like... Who are our players that have to be in? And that doesn't... It could be seniority, I guess. I don't look at things that way. But, like, who are players that are just, like, really good and should be in the raid at all times for us to do well and make everyone's time more efficient? You want those players in the raid, right? But then you kind of need an extra healer, because what if your healers is gone? But like generally speaking, you are going to have some people that are on the end of your bench. But realistically, if you have someone in on the end of your bench and you never give them raid time, they're going to be looking for another guild, because turns out people want to play the game. So, I don't know.
It's the watch system. Just stop calling it a bench. The moment you tell a player they're benched, you imply they aren't good enough. On a warship,
It's the same thing though, right? Oh, fuck, I'm not benched. I'm on the watch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't have a bench. We have a watch system. Every single sailor on that ship is fully trained, qualified, and elite. But only one watch team can physically steer the ship or run the engines at a time. The others are on standby. In Mythic Raid difficulty, you're locked into a 20-man limit. But you need a roster of 24-ish to survive. Roster rotation shouldn't be an emotional punishment. It's a tactical decision driven by 3 objective things: boss mechanics, team composition requirements, and current performance data. If someone's on standby, they aren't a backup. They're a highly capable asset ready to step in and execute. If you change...
I mean, this is just about pumping up the people on the bench and making them feel like they're wanted, which is important. And you could do that in many different ways, I guess. I kind of want to bring this terminology to our guild as a meme, though. Like, someone's laughing about Hopeful being benched. I'm like, you guys don't get it. He's just on watch.
Change your vocabulary, you change your culture. To make the watch system work, you have to implement a methodology of radical transparency. Your players should never have to guess why they're sitting out on a boss or if they're going in.
This is true. You should tell players ahead of time why you're doing something. Like, I think most everything should be transparent. Like, your loot stuff should be in front of everyone. Why people are sitting should be in front of everyone. And if you're planning on sitting someone on Monday, don't wait until Monday to tell them so they're not mad. They could have spent their time doing something else, you know, like I think guilds could be a lot more transparent, and the reality is a lot of leaders of these guilds just don't want the confrontation. They don't want to deal with the confrontation because that's uncomfortable for them, and they'd rather just like procrastinate on it, but then it just makes it so much worse.
Before the raid night even begins, the leadership team needs to outline the exact strategy. If a boss requires a ton of cleave damage, or you need...
Personally, I don't buy the standby thing. Like, it's the same thing. Unless he's just saying that, like, the word bench has a negative connotation to it. But, like, I don't know. If I'm a raider in that guild, I'd be thinking, like, do you think I'm stupid? You know? Like, calling it something else is going to make it any different than what it is. But, I mean, at the same... Like, being on the bench in a situation like that isn't a insanely bad thing. I guess some people can look at it that way, but they're not going to look at it any different calling it standby. I don't know.
Class utility like immunities, you tell your roster exactly how that dictates.
Someone in chat says he's right. I fucking hate hearing bench. Okay. But you would feel better if they told you were on standby? It's the same
It's the
thing.
composition. When it's driven by strategy, it's no longer
That's
personal.
what being on the bench means.
And on those harder wall bosses with high pull counts, you need to maximize the fresh legs on your standby crew. Our methodology on progression is clear. At the halfway point of the first and sometimes second night, we swap the roster.
In my guild, we'd volunteer to be benched. It was like a day off. Yeah, but... Okay, it's easy to volunteer to be benched to get a day off when you're playing all the time, but I think the issue with bench players isn't that... It's that they're never seeing raid time, right? So they wouldn't volunteer for a day off because they'd want to just be in the raid. The only people who feel like they'd want a day off are the people that are actually seeing the content, which is like not the point.
Bring our standby watch into the instance, and this does 2 things for the team. First, it ensures your standby players are actively watching, studying, and analyzing the polls while they wait, because they know they're going in.
And there's another thing, like, dude, if I'm in a more casual guild and I know I'm not in for the boss tonight, I kind of would just rather not be on my computer. I'd rather be doing something else, so I'd rather not have to, like, study up. I'd rather, like, fuck off.
Second, it gives leadership a direct side-by-side comparison of who is executing the mechanics better under pressure.
Hopeful says in Echo, they changed Race to World First boot camp to, like, winning Race to World First for this exact reason. What the fuck does Race to World First Boot Camp mean? I actually have no idea what you're saying. What is Race to World First Boot Camp? We did like 8 hours of PTR for raid testing and Mythic Plus. Like 8 hours more? Like over normal weekend? I'm confused. All good.
It keeps everyone sharp, and it keeps the roster fair. Once we see who is performing the best, we lock in our roster and dive into that prog. Ultimately, you want every member of your roster to feel like they are a valuable part of the team.
Yes.
This aids in retention, helps prevent negative feelings around bringing in someone.
I mean, I do think he has a huge point in that. What I think happens in most guilds is you do find players to bench all the time, and then they're inevitably going to leave to go somewhere else. And then you just cycle in those new people, and they never become a cohesive part of your team. So what you could do better is actually deliberately make sure that all bench players see enough raid time in a season, like very religiously do this. And then that way these people aren't leaving the guild, and now you don't have to worry about recruiting 3 new people every farm, and you get to be in the same guild for longer. But then you're just basically saying rotate your bench players in the raid, and then this could have been an email kind of thing, you know? But I personally don't buy into like the changing the terminology of things as like something that actually matters. And maybe, and it's totally anecdotal, like maybe it would help other people, but like there's no way you think I'm dumb enough to be a person in that situation. And then you just change the word from bench to something else, and it changes literally anything. Anything. It would almost just be insulting my intelligence to just call it something else as if that would ever mean anything.
A first kill, or if they have to cover an absence, and it helps strengthen your culture. But what happens when the data shows someone is underperforming? How do you address it without causing drama, causing the player to tilt, or ruining a friendship? You do it by taking the emotion out of the equation and relying on your after-action report. As a leader, you must never make roster decisions based on mid-raid vibes or...
What is it? Think about it from the perspective of the good and non-bench players too, though. How annoying is it to be in a fight when you learn it and then have to relearn it with a new set of players, and it feels like your guild is now wasting your time? Yeah, as in, like, are you referring to, like, having people, like, not watching, and if they're not watching, they're not going to be, like, able to do it? Or do you mean, like, by swapping in new people, it's making your reclears longer? You're thinking about it that way, right? It's like there's a reason you don't swap in your bench players all the time. It's because it actually just slows down your shit. Very true. It depends on the boss. Like, some bosses are very easy to swap people in on, and some bosses are comically bad. Like there can be a boss that only took 50 pulls, which is, like, not a lot of pulls. But then, like, if you swap in a new player, you are incapable of killing that boss until they see it, like, 10 or 15 times. And then if you add people, it's just worse and worse.
Key to the moment frustration.
And some bosses are random. Like, if you're doing sticks, like OG sticks, you could actually have 2 new people and one-shot the boss in, like, 5 out of 10 iterations. But then every single iteration where they get picked by a ball one time, you are going to wipe. And then there's just, like, an RNG situation where, like, they get it a few pulls in a row. And, like sticks, like OG sticks bunk junker, like, the first version of that boss, maybe even the second version as well, every single person needed to be in the ball like 4 or 5 times for you to ever realistically kill it, or for them to be good at it. And it just took a long time for that to happen. But it could also just skip someone.
It's going poorly, an officer gets frustrated, and they bench someone based entirely on a gut feeling.
No, it's because he mentioned specifically swapping in bench players mid-prog as standard procedure. Did he say that? I know he said, like, make sure they're on standby and then swap them in. Is he saying do that on, like, a boss you're progressing with? Like, you're progressing and then you have people who know the boss and you're swapping them out for new people just so they feel involved, but you're just going to regress? Okay, so before I even respond to that, I think it's important to mention that there are guilds that play the game for different reasons, and I'll boil it down to, there's a lot more, but I'll boil it down to 2. There's guilds that, like, they like playing with the people they're playing with. I think that's kind of necessary, but they also are playing because they want to do the content relatively quickly and not have that waste their time. Not waste their time, but like they don't want to spend the entire patch on it if possible. They'd like to be done a little earlier, maybe. That'd be great. And then you have people that raid and they do these bosses, but they actually care significantly more about like all the people in the guild, and they're just basically there on a Thursday night just hanging out because that's what they would want to do anyway, and it's not necessarily about like getting the bosses down, right? I think those are like, that's a very clear, there are guilds that are on one or guilds that are the other. If you're the second thing, I think this is fine. Bro, in any guild I've ever raided in, and I was in the raid and we were making good progression, and then we took our like mid-raid break and we swapped in 3 new people for no fucking reason other than to make people feel involved, and then we chain wiped for an hour, I would not still be on this earth, bro. I would be in outer space. I would be so fucking mad. Like, I don't know. I think this would only work. I think this would only work if you're in a guild that doesn't really care about how fast you're progressing. That would make me want to blow the fuck up, for sure.
That is a fast track to destroying your team's trust. Instead, you wait for daylight. Use your post-raid AAR to look at cold, hard data. You analyze the logs and review the VODs. Facts don't have feelings. You ensure you have objective proof of a performance bottleneck before you ever act. And when you do act, you handle it through one-on-one
I'm sorry, the facts before feelings took me the fuck out.
coaching, never in front of the team. You don't say, hey man, you're playing like shit. That's emotional, and it immediately forces them onto the defensive. Instead, open up the after-action report data and look at the VODs together. You can say, let's look at pull 12. The logs show your active mitigation dropped here, and the VOD shows you missed a taunt. Let's look at your UI or your positioning so we can get this fixed.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. The issue is that takes a ton of time. So, obviously, in the middle of raid, being like, hey, bro, cue my mic here. So you're playing like shit. Like, that's never, ever been good. No one could ever argue that's good. You'd have to be extremely delusional to think that that ever helps you. It is emotional. It's something raid leaders do when they're like really stressed out, and that's a way to relieve stress, is just to like fucking shit on somebody. It sucks. You shouldn't do it. Everyone gets that. However, bringing things up in a raid in front of everyone, but not being an asshole, if that is the culture you said, I think is more, it's just better because it's less time consuming. Like, dude, I could wait until after the raid and find 30 minutes of logs to support this statement, pull someone into a one-on-one channel and show them that they need to fix this. Or I could just be like, hey, I saw you do this, like literally right after the pull, like, hey, I saw you were doing that, like, can you try to do this next time? And you're not being an asshole, and they'll just say, yeah. And then it's fucking over. You just saved 30 minutes of your time and 15 minutes of theirs. Maybe time is not, like, ideally, maybe you do it in like a perfect world like that, but I also think it's important in a culture to like be willing. You guys are working on a difficult, large group project together that requires people to do things correctly. And if you notice something is wrong, it is definitely okay to fix it in the moment in front of everyone, just not being a douchebag, right? In my opinion. However, not everyone's built for that. Some people just have a tone of voice that makes it bad. Like, you could literally have all the best intentions, but your tone of voice makes it sound like maybe you're mad, and then that person is going to take it the wrong way, right? And maybe it's really, really hard to do this, so it's not worth it. And maybe it's also like if you're in like a guild that's less serious, right? There's just a certain amount of people that just never want to be called out in front of a group of people. Even if it's perfectly viable, it just freaks them the fuck out, you know? So maybe if you have someone like that, I think that's more of like, I don't think that's the average person though. So like, I think you treat those people different. I've had people in this guild that are like this good that I know if I were to confront them in front of the guild, and when I say confront, you guys have heard me, you guys have all watched me do this. You know I don't fucking just dig into people, right? Like, if I have even something remotely small to say, it's going to be in a DM to them specifically, because if I say it in comms, it's just going to be, they're going to play bad because they're just going to get emotional about it, right? So, like, people are different, but I don't know. The one-on-one after raid thing, could it just be a DM, you know?
By using the AAR as your foundation, you aren't attacking the person. You're analyzing the problem. You're giving that player a concrete, measurable path to improve so they can get right back into the watch rotation. True leadership means realizing that protecting
What is it? You can condition people over time to be able to handle that type of correction. Yeah, maybe the only, like, the most common way you see this is like when people don't admit their mistakes. Because, like, what do you think's going to happen if you have a raid leader whenever he's like, what went wrong here? And this person's like, it was me. And then he's like, fuck you, or whatever. Like, you guys, I'm fucking tired of this shit. You guys are wasting my time. You're supposed to be mythic raiders. Just whatever bullshit they say, right? Okay, what do you think's going to happen the next time he asks what went wrong? You think that person or any other person's going to, like, fucking raise their hand and say that's wrong? No, of course not, right? But what can happen is if you, like, acknowledge what's wrong, someone says what went wrong, they admit it, you don't chastise them, you talk about how you as a group can improve from it, and then you move on. Guess what? Turns out, next time you go through that situation, people are going to be pretty willing to just say it was them because they realize that everyone else is fucked up too, and it's not that big of a deal, and we're just trying to fix it, right? It's about how you react as a leader to those situations will determine how people act when you ask them questions like that.
Underperformer out of politeness or nepotism actively harms the other 19 people who showed up prepared. Putting your people first means protecting the health of the entire unit. Treat your standby players with respect. Use radical transparency and let the data guide your roster choices. Next week, we finish our month-long campaign by looking at the macro level, strategic preparation, and how to plan for a new prog boss like it's a deployment. But I want to hear from you. How does your guild handle roster rotation? Do you use a standby watch system, or do you feel like people just get ghosted on the bench? Drop it in the comments below.
Wait, does anyone remember exactly when he said rotate people in? Because, like, I want to make sure I was hearing that right. Like, you guys heard it. You guys are saying this. He said at some point in this video, while you are mid-progression on a boss, you should swap people in. Like, the boss isn't dead. And you're getting the bench involved intentionally, like, while you're actively progressing a boss. It was when there was footage of Bellerin is when he said it. Oh, that's actually a huge shout. Okay, that was, like, right here.
Watch into the instance, and this does two things. To maximize the fresh legs on your stand. By strategy, it's no longer personal.
I'm just going to listen to this whole thing again.
Transparency. Your players should never have to guess why they're sitting out on a boss or if they're going in. Before the raid night even begins,
So I assumed this picture was different days, but now that I'm realizing this is probably a really casual guild, this is like the hours, right? Of progression. Like, it's not even, I think it doesn't show the top, but they certainly don't raid 6 days a week. So this has to be, oh, this is per boss. Oh, well, that's totally normal. Okay. I thought this was like every 30 minutes they fucking blow a whistle and the new team,
leadership team
fucking
needs to outline the exact strategy. If a boss requires a ton of cleave damage or you need class utility like immunities, you tell your roster exactly how that dictates the composition. When it's driven by strategy, it's no longer personal. And on those harder wall bosses with high pull counts, you need to maximize the fresh legs on your standby. Our methodology on progression is clear. At the halfway point of the first and sometimes second night, we swap the roster. We bring our standby watch into the instance, and this does two things for the team. First, it ensures your standby players are actively watching, studying, and analyzing the polls while they wait, because they know they're going in. Second, it gives leadership a direct side-by-side comparison of who is executing the mechanics better under pressure. It keeps everyone sharp, and it keeps the roster fair. Once we see who is performing the best, we lock in our roster.
Bro, that's insane. That's insane. Like, again, there are two types of guilds, and I have quite literally never raided in the second one, which is the one that's there to be with your friends and to make sure everyone's happy, and you're basically hanging out for 3 hours on a Thursday night, and whatever happens, happens, right? For me, I've always cared a little bit more about making sure bosses actually die. That really mattered to me. I liked it a lot. I don't think that's necessarily just a world first mentality. I think that spans a lot of guilds, right? Even almost all of you in chat are like, yo, that sounds terrible. I'm just telling you from the perspective of that. So not speaking about the other one, just my own perspective. Put me into a cannon and shoot it over and over again until I've been launched into the atmosphere. Like, just fucking explode me. Can you imagine you are like making good progression on a boss and you're like fucking cooking, like, bro, we're finally getting this. And then you just swap in like 4 new people and it's just misery for the next hour and a half. Oh my God, fucking shoot me into the sun, bro. Like, dude, never. Oh my God, man.
And dive into that.
All right, I have to hear more videos. Oh my God. To be fair, though, there's a lot of bosses where that won't matter, though. Like, there's bosses where you kind of just have to know the bit of the boss, and it's not super execution heavy, and, like, this won't matter. But there are bosses where this is such an insanely painful thing to do. Yeah, finally got the lure memory game out. Fucking swap everybody. Yeah, but okay, I want to say, I could be wrong. I strongly doubt a guild doing this is getting cutting edge. Not impossible. I just strongly doubt it. Looks like they did, though. 7 months ago, Mythic Dimensia's kill. Right?
Still gotta work for it. It's not a guarantee.
Dude, fucking vibes, bro. I love it. I love it when people just hit the fucking motivational quote on the jump in. I hard fuck with that. All right. How to recover from a 1% wipe at the end of the night. Stop the tilt. All right. Cook, bro.
Whelps! Left side! Even side! Many whelps! Now handle it!
We've all been there. It's midnight on a Thursday, it's pull 100 on a prog boss, the mechanics are flawless, the damage is perfect, and suddenly, the raid wipes at 1%. Discord goes dead silent. Or, even worse, your raid leader slams their desk, unmutes their mic, and starts...
Bro, this is where I think I'm built different, and maybe not even in a good way. But, like, anytime we actually have a 1% wipe, and unless we're about to lose the race because of it, it's an objectively positive feeling. Like, it's never a negative feeling. Like, if you get a 1% wipe, it's like, oh, we can kill this boss now. You know? This boss can die. Sweet, we finally figured it out. We're here. You know? Like, maybe the negative parts can come after that, where you have that, and then you shift into the, oh, yay, we're here now. But then now you regress. That can feel bad. But actually getting the 1% wipe is like, oh, fuck yeah. Even, like, during the race, we're behind, right? Echo's having, like, way lower wipes than us, and the first time we had, like, a 30 or 40% secret phase pull, we were like, oh, fuck yeah, this boss is dead. We weren't sad. We were imminently going to lose. And we were like, this is great. And I feel like some people in chat are thinking like, oh my God, they wiped. No. And we're like, yay. You know? It's like, it's just totally different.
Screaming at the top of their lungs how everyone is wasting their time. The vibe is ruined. The raid night is over, and half your roster is secretly checking the recruitment page on Raider.io. In the
What is it? Getting the 1% wipe when you die early, though? Oh, when you're the person who dies? Yeah.
Navy, when an operational drill or real-world mission goes sideways, screaming at the crew gets people killed. It spikes anxiety, causes tunnel vision, and guarantees more mistakes will happen. Elite units don't yell. They rely on tactical frameworks to stabilize the room. As a veteran, but also as a multi-cutting-edge tank, raid leader, and 21st man, I've spent years operating in both of these high-pressure worlds. Today I'm going to show you how to use military crisis management to stop your team from tilting, and how to turn a heartbreaking 1% wipe into a clean kill.
Let's psychology of the
psychology under pressure. When a team spends weeks preparing for an objective, your brain treats a failure like an actual crisis. The moment that 1% wipe hits, your players are flooded with adrenaline and frustration. If you, as the leader, step up to the mic and vent your anger, you're throwing fuel on a fire.
Yeah, of
course.
course.
If you're a boss, a manager, or a World of Warcraft raid leader who screams at your team when things go wrong, You aren't leading, you're
Dude,
just panicking.
he's right, but it does go hard, though, doesn't it? Like, you just wipe, and it's someone's fault, and you just fucking insult their whole bloodline, you know? It's so good.
Panicking out loud. In the Navy, if a real-world mission goes sideways, yelling at the crew achieves 0 results. It just spikes anxiety.
It does go
and
hard,
guarantees
though.
more mistakes. Panic is contagious. But here's the secret. So is calm. When your raid wipes at 1%, your team doesn't need your anger. They need your clarity. If your voice is steady, your team's heart rate slows down. And if your heart rate slows down, you can actually think clearly enough to run an elite debrief. To handle a crisis effectively, elite units rely on 2 entirely different types of debriefs depending on when they happen. If you want to run a successful guild, you need to know the difference between a hot wash and an after-action report, and exactly when to use each.
All right.
In the Navy, a hot wash happens immediately after an operation or drill concludes. The crew's still sweating, the adrenaline is pumping, and the engines are still hot. It's raw, it's fast, and it's strictly focused on immediate tactical fixes for the next iteration. In Warcraft, your hot wash happens in the 120 seconds between a wipe and the next pull. When that
Okay.
1% wipe happens, you don't open up logs and look at damage profiles for 10 minutes while 19 people lose focus. You do a 60-second hot
Well,
wash.
you might.
You call out the immediate point of failure, you assign a quick
You don't look
fix,
at logs,
and hit
but
release.
looking at VODs
Healers,
is
you
usually
missed a
really
soak
good.
on the left side. Next pull, Neek and Pico cover that marker. Release it and run back. It clears the mental clutter and it keeps the momentum moving. An after action report is
No,
entirely
okay, that is still good. I think the main difference between how I'm looking at that and how he and a lot of you probably are is like when we wipe, there's usually like a nice VOD to look at to like learn from. And you're rating 15 hours a day, so like taking a few more minutes in between pulls isn't losing you like your focus. Your focus loses from being in combat for 10 or 11 hours, then you're just kind of cooked, right? So you have like 4 hours to play with in between pulls, basically, for dinner breaks and looking at VODs. So you're not really losing time. That's not very relatable. But I will say that, yeah, if you're rating 3 or 4 hours a night, you should be pulling the boss like the whole time. Especially because we are trying to figure out how to kill the boss. There's no kill video. We are making the kill video. So, like, when you zone into a raid night with a kill video in front of you, there's way less reason to not just be pulling the boss because everyone just knows what needs to be done anyway.
different. This is a formal, structured review that happens after the entire evolution or mission is completely over. The adrenaline is gone, the crew is rested, and you finally have the time to look at the macro level data. In Warcraft, your AAR happens the day after a raid night. Far too many officers try to do an AAR mid-raid, which absolutely kills your raid pacing. Save those deep dives for the next day. This is when you and your officers open up Warcraft logs, analyze the execution, and post a clean, objective write-up in your guild Discord. This gives your team actual time to digest the macro adjustments before the next raid night. Use the hot wash to maintain momentum on raid night. and
That's
use the
actually
after
pretty helpful.
adjustments to write
What
up
he
and
was just
open up
showing
War-
is really good. This is whatever, but it's this. Like, just, hey, just throw in like a little, you're not calling anyone out. Great job, interrupters. You're doing so good. Thank you, heart sign. And then, like, obviously, the reason you're posting this is not so these people see that they're amazing. It's so these people bind their interrupt key, you know? And every fucking person knows that as well, which is so funny. But it works though, because like you're not deliberately calling them out, but I guarantee after the next raid, these numbers at the bottom are going to be higher, bro.
Discord.
And then there's another
This gives
another
your
one
team
here too.
actual time to digest them.
Damage done to like the little ads, and it is like top priority. Like this is another thing. Like I think like even just a lot of players just like pull the boss and don't look at logs. If they realize they're doing literally nothing to like the most important thing, it would really help them.
Macro adjustments before the next raid night. Use the hot wash to maintain momentum on raid night, and use the after action report to fix your strategy between raids. Now, whether you're running a hot wash on the fly or writing an AAR the next day, the structure of military crisis management relies on 3 unbreakable rules.
Check the ego at the door.
In a military debrief, rank is paused. A junior sailor can look at a commanding officer and say, "Sir, the communication from the bridge was unclear," and say it without fear of retaliation. In your guild,
If you fucking talk back to me, bro, you're getting verbally body slammed in front of the whole
you
guild.
have to create a culture where
No
players
shot.
feel safe enough to put their
No
hands up.
shot,
If a
kid.
raider is terrified of being shamed or permanently benched, they will lie about why they died, or worse, blame someone else. You want a culture where a player can instantly say, hey, my bad, I missed my defensive cooldown on that soak, and then the team can move on. But how do you actually build that space? Well, it starts with the leader. If you're a tank, a raid leader, an officer, you must be the first person to openly take the blame when things go sideways.
I don't buy it. I never make mistakes.
The next time a wipe happens, even if it wasn't entirely your fault, step up to the mic and say, hey, my positioning could have been tighter there to give the melee more room. That's on me. I'll fix it. When your team sees a leader take extreme ownership of a mistake, it gives them the psychological safety to do the same. Normalize making mistakes, but make hiding them unacceptable.
Facts, not
When
feelings.
things go wrong,
Bro, we've ripped facts, not feelings in
toxic
2
leaders
straight
use
videos.
vague emotional phrases like, you guys are throwing, or we're playing like trash. What does that actually mean? How does a player fix playing like trash? That's useless information. Instead, speak in objective facts. Don't say, healers, you're letting people die. Say, we failed the phase 2 transition because 3 people were out of range. Let's look at the positioning. Facts don't have feelings. Facts give your team something tangible to fix.
Oh, Jesus.
Never end a wipe discussion on a negative note. A good leader never dismisses a debrief by saying, well, that sucked. Let's just try harder next time. They give a clear, actionable adjustment for the next iteration. Once you identify the factual error in your hot wash, give the team one thing to focus on for the next pull. All right, team, we wash.
Hey, guys, you probably want to soak these. One quick adjustment. Everyone look at this clip real quick. You're going to want to soak these for sure.
Give the team one thing to focus on for the next pull. All right, team, we know exactly
All right,
why
let's
we
pull
wiped.
again.
On this next pull, no crystal carriers are going to get hit by glaives. This boss is hard, but we can do hard things. True authority is never loud. The loudest person in the room is usually the one who has completely lost control of the situation. The strongest leaders I ever served with in the Navy were the ones who got quieter and more calculated when the ship was taking water. When your team is facing a crisis, they don't need your anger. They need your clarity. Next week, we're moving on from crisis management into roster management. We're going to talk about the absolute hardest part of running any organization: how to handle underperformers, how to manage your bench, and how to bench a friend without ruining the friendship. But
It's fucking over, bro. There's no way to do it. Oh, that reminds me. Did you see that Lura is absolutely farming mid-tier cutting-edge guilds? No. Like, what does absolutely farming mean? Okay, so pretty steady kill curve. Pull counts are going nuclear. I need to find a way to look at pull counts of the most recent kills. How do I do that? Like it'd be almost like this graph right here. If this graph showed like pull count on one and like the dates, like the average pull counts by the week. Cuz it seems like from my general thing it was like we killed it with this many pulls and then like it got lower, velocity had like really low, and it seems like it's been creeping back up. Like they nerfed it a few times where it went directly down, and then it's like they haven't nerfed it in a while, and like the guild skill levels that are reaching it are going lower and lower, obviously, and they're not nerfing to compensate, so people are taking longer and longer. A lot of guilds are already looking at 600 plus. Guys, the boss, come on. It is I mean, is it just glaives? I mean, glaives are so much easier now. Glaives don't one tap. World rank 500 6-hour guild here. Laura is the first boss in our history that we pulled an entire night without progressing further into the fight than the previous. Yeah, I mean, you got better at it throughout the fight. Right, even though you didn't get a new lower pull, because on a boss like that, like, there's just a critical mass of the amount of pulls that each player needs in P1 to because like you need everyone to live past P1 to make any progression. And as you go lower down the guild ranks, you are going to have people require more tries in P1 to be realistically consistent at it. So it kind of makes sense. Like, even though you feel like you're making no progression, you actually are, because you got 3 more hours of P1 pulls, and people need that probably. It feels like when someone grabs a crystal, they become a lemming and try to actively die. Come on, man. That's really surprising. Has there been a boss like that in recent memory? Like, I feel like Dimensius was like really hard, stayed really hard, and then it got nerfed and became like an average level of difficulty. I don't remember the boss ballooning in pull count, you know? Fyrak kind of felt like this. Oh, interesting. I mean, if Fyrak felt like this, isn't it the same thing in a way? Like, even though Fyrak and this boss are so different, the one similarity they have is seeds. Like, if your seed person fucks up, you just die. And I feel like that mechanic alone is something where, like, maybe it's just more punishing when you go down. And and the version of that we killed of this boss was quite a bit more challenging. But there are still people who actively believe that they and the people they play with could raid at the Race to World first level if they just put in the same amount of time. It's a goat opinion. What is this chart here? HPS spread. What does that mean? What does DPS spread mean? Non-tank damage taken per second. That's kind of fascinating, right? Doesn't that mean wait, scroll to zoom, click plus drag to pan. Oh, yeah. So basically over the course of like after the first like 40 pulls, no one gets any better defensively. It's just there. Looks like DPS, that's kind of interesting when you zoom in on this though, right? Like DPS kind of like always gets better. It's hard to see because the margins are so small, but like I can't scroll right. But like it just kind of keeps going up all the way through to the end. Same thing with HPS. Max, on the number of kills, you can drag it to check the more recent kills. Huh? Oh, you're right. Right? You can do like little... Okay, so like if you just look at kills in the first week, look at this. It's like... Or this is for the like after it was first killed, like 2 weeks after, it was like world first pull count and then 1 stinker, and then like the guilds that did it and a little less, right? Because like they had a video. And then you have like the other nerf. Dude, holy fuck. Bro, this boss is destroying people. See, this is really interesting, man. Like, this is not normal. Like, it's actually just going up. Every time you segment this to a more recent date, the pull counts go even higher. Wouldn't surprise me if people have to keep moving their roster around for summer vacation. Yeah, anyone that's killing the boss this late into farm on a really hard boss like this. Remember how earlier we were talking about how there are bosses that are nuclear bad for subbing people out on? I don't know if it's still like this because the boss has been nerfed a absolutely insane amount from when we did it. But this would be one of the worst bosses ever to sub someone out on. Like one person. You're 300 pulls into this boss, subbing one person would fuck you. I think it might have been the difference in the race, right? Actually, no, I think both of us did that. We swapped. They swapped from one healer to another, and we swapped from one tank to another, but the tank thing was seamless, and the healer thing caused relearning. I think that change alone might have been the difference in the race. So yeah, if these guilds are swapping out people during this long farm period, or long progression period, they're it's gonna fuck you every time for sure. .001% raider realizes how the other 80% of the player base aren't on the same level. I feel like I haven't realized anything in this conversation that I didn't already feel like I knew. Did I even insinuate that I didn't? I'm very confused by your message. We are a 22-man team, and the next month we have random people out every day, so getting all 22 people is very important. I think someone not pressing Hellstone might have been the diff. Bro, you know what happened back in a Terrace of Endless Spring? Which, by the way, as you guys are maybe now thinking, like, when was that raid? That was like... that was like 15 years ago. But our raid leader, after the night, posted Healthstone stats, in which, you know, some people didn't press it a lot. Some people had low presses. But, like, no deaths to it. And then they posted it after the second night. And this one guy who had, like, 0 presses went to having the most presses of anyone. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And this guy was, like, not very good. So I'm like, that's crazy. I check logs, bro. This dude literally macroed Hellstone into his, like, main spender. So every pull, if he was not at 100% HP, he just fucking hit that shit insta just to, like, pad the stats up. He was using Hellstone on, like, 30-second pulls. And the raid leader's glazing him, bro. Like, he got mad at me. The raid leader got mad at me for only having, like, 5 Hellstones over the night. But I had 0 deaths. 0 of, like, I'm the first 3 people dead. And he was acting like I didn't use Hellstone enough. I'm like, do you want me to use Hellstone to, like, help with healers on HPS or something? Because, like, Hellstone for me is my last resort. It's something I save unless I know I'm going to die. And I didn't die all night, and I only used it when I needed it. But if you want me to hit that shit on CD, I can. That's fine. Max, do you know if the new raid has Hall of Fame? I have no idea. What do we got from the Siege of Orgrimmar race? Is there like a VOD of it? Who streamed it from the top team? I want to see their reaction when they killed Garrosh. Also, you guys said they wiped on bosses that were not like bugs. Shoop, you said? The fuck is that? Siege of Orgrimmar race tonight. Wait, was Siege the first raid where, like, they weren't just going to one-shot every boss just by existing? Okay, so this is them doing Throne of Thunder Farm. I mean, I can just go to when they were in the raid. All right, here they're waiting. They're waiting. Let's go take a trip through memory lane. Yes, dude. Dude, I had a sick pull on this boss. I had, like, the Feral Druid equivalent of, like, the crazy... Do you guys remember Affliction Locks used to, like, own this boss back in the day with the Black Blood trinket? I had the Feral Druid rank of this boss. It wasn't beaten all of farm. I had the rank 1 on this boss for like 5 months or something. Just absolute god tier rune RNG with cause it's like a multi-dotting boss, right? So rune is like even more insane. But like I played with the Ebon detonator and just got crazy RNG. All right. So doing that. Immersius isn't interesting. This boss is whatever. Let's watch everyone's favorite boss, bro. The one after this. Any Galacrass enjoyers? Wait, they wiped. Lamau. This is a raid boss, by the way, what you're looking at right now. Actually, they might still be doing trash. Yeah, they are. This is a raid boss. When was the last time they made like a mid-tier raid boss that was like Galacrass level ad slop? ENR? ENR. Pretty sure. P2 Sylvanas arguably ad slop. No. What are we doing here? Zakali Assault. Oh yeah, that was like an early boss though. I'm maybe a hot take. I'm cool with like the early. If they want to do some like cringe ad shit on the first 2 or 3 bosses, I'm all good. We're good with that. That never bothers me. Just don't fuck around and make it the like anywhere near the end of the raid. Then we just lose a raid boss. Oh yeah, so basically they just fill up both the towers, and then they fight a dragon. It's amazing. Where's the dragon? Hello? There it is.
Man, this is some piss loot.
Dude, he said piss so guttural style.
For that. Man, this is some piss.
Oh my god. He fucking hit that shit. Okay. Iron Jug. Okay, here's what I want to know on Dark Shamans. Do they do the Chad strat? They're still doing trash. Are we doing stack them together? Stacking them when this raid first came out was like impossibly hard. I wonder if they're going to split them or stack them. Stacking them is like kind of psycho. It looks like they're stacking them. Do they spread them eventually? Nah, they don't give a fuck, bro.
Bay Tombs. Vigilance Middery.
Why is their guardian owning? Vengeance. Mage really has been broken. Dude, mages take it so bad when you guys say that they've been broken forever.
Storm.
They like bring up every time they
Rush.
haven't been broken. They just take it so bad.
Stream. Geyser.
Go melee. Just
Oh my god, they did it. All right, now they do. Dude, this is interesting. So this boss, it spawns with ads. And like only on the first pull. So if you don't one-shot Nazgrim, you lose so much pad.
I got tier chest anyway.
It's like what guilds used to do back then is you would basically assign one person to AoE all the ads on the pull based on a roll. Like if they win the roll, they just AoE.
Just whatever, but I have to think of that in the future.
5. Soul Well. 4.
Especially this pulse.
2. 1. Battle Stance.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're being smart. They're using it for funnel. I think. I don't think people are actively AoEing. What funnel existed in this
Shockwave.
Oh, this is way too long ago. Enhance, probably. Yeah, their enhance is owning.
Banner.
Wait, what? What is that red shit on the ground? Was that... Do I just not remember that?
Banner.
There, the like blinking red shit. Was that from the actual boss?
Ads.
That's the banner animation? I don't remember that at all. I thought that was like some crazy ass weak aura.
Shockwave.
Dude, y'all remember how mad this tier people were when they saw us pull Lura for the first time?
Berserker Stance.
That was a fucking... I wish I could have just been in Twitch chat for that moment.
I swear, bro, if I don't clear another Bloodthirst. We're design this dog shit spec.
Shockwave.
Wait, is that Twitch VOD still up or has it been nuked yet? It's probably been nuked.
Banner. Ads.
I want to live it. I want to live that life.
Banner.
All right. I've watched enough General Nazgrim. All right, the next boss is kind of interesting how they decide to do it. They do a little death skip. I forget exactly how this boss worked, right? It does like a big cleave on the tank that you don't want to get hit by, but then there's times where you do want to soak it. Like he has another phase where he like hits the whole raid all at once. Something like that.
Smash.
It's like a meme boss. It like has like a meme mechanic. I don't know why you needed to soak that. Do they have a group of? I swear he did like a.
Smash.
Okay, I don't remember what this boss does actually. Yeah, you soak these orbs in the intermission. Do they spawn from players based on who soaked those things earlier? Maybe. Well, where's his like different phase though? Is it when he
Red.
hits 100 energy here? At full energy, you stack. Yeah.
Blood phase.
Yeah, here it is.
Vigilance tank.
And they all stack up with raid CDs. Looks like they're not giga stacking.
Use demoralizing banner.
Oh, are the tanks fucking soloing it with the melee? Not even all the melee.
Use rallying cry. Miasma phase.
Wow, that's so beast.
Ma-
All right. One of the most underrated bosses in all of WoW's history. I feel like people who hate Spoils of Pandaria rated with a bunch of stinkers or only rated heroic, or I guess back then heroic was the only rated normal, or they never saw the boss. They just like saw, like they've never played the boss. They just like saw a video of it and they're like, oh, those are ads and ads are bad. Bro, this fight fucking owned. This is one of the best bosses, most unique bosses, gave you full control over how you would do it. Mechanics were great. This was an awesome fight. Anyways, let's go to the bangers. Let's go to the ones that are really fun to watch. So Thok. I want to see how much they milk Thok.
How long has it been with my...
Soul well.
How much do they milk here? How many stacks are they at? 6, or they go way higher. 30 maybe?
Sate.
Oh no, they already beat it. 24. And then they break?
Stack. Blood phase.
Yeah. I had someone
Fixating.
die.
Don't fucking attack him melee.
Fixate.
Wait, why are they AFKing again? I forget.
Fixating.
Oh, it's because like they swap his
Fixate.
spot. And they don't want... It was really easy to get eaten by Thok here. If you're like in front of Thok's hitbox, it's extremely easy for you to die.
Fixating. Fixate.
The boss was bugged and could eat you from the back.
Fixating.
Oh,
Fixate.
word. Oh, get out, buddy, get out.
Fixating.
Oh, he's gotten eaten for sure, right?
Fixate. Fix. 3, 2.
He's starting to get fast as fuck. This is a great boss. Okay, let's watch who Haruma Red said was one of the worst bosses in WoW's history. All right, what's their strat? I'm assuming midwinter strat. I think like
Frenzy.
midwinter
Saw blade.
midwinter strat back in the day was the most like you let your tanks with vengeance solo the boss mechanic. But I actually am wondering what like the 15 years later what the most optimal order is.
Shredder.
So they're not spamming the bombs.
Saw blade. Overcharged mines.
Oh, they are here. So usually what you do with overcharged mines, your
Mines.
tanks just like crank everything. Like you spawn them on top. Yeah, this is midwinter strat.
Saw
Damn, they're
blade.
still
Aggro.
using midwinter strat.
Aggro. Frenzy. Aggro. Aggro.
Oh, nice
Aggro.
kiting.
Saw blade. Aggro. Aggro.
That was a six strat, by the way.
Bro.
You just played with Giga
Top
Crawler. Dude, if you didn't have your tanks soloing them when they
Overcharged
spawned,
magnetic.
crawler mines were the worst
So-
mechanic of all time. And most other guilds completely avoided them for this reason. When like the videos
I'm
came
going
out
to,
of this.
Like, I need to look in. What's
Shredder.
happening? Let's get dead
Use
so we need
rallying
another
cry.
person to
Saw-
Let's see. All right, this boss,
Fair.
I don't know how I feel about that. I really liked this boss because I was a multi-daughter and it was really fun to do this. And I have fond memories of progression of Paragons of the Klaxi. But it's like kind of a meme boss, right? Like, wasn't the case that like every week there was a different order? So like you had to learn like a different fight basically. Like all the bosses did the same thing, but they came out in slightly different orders. Which is like kind of a cool concept. But did they like standardize it? Is it always the same order
Blood. Aim.
now on whatever is out on Classic?
Karas.
This boss is fun, but the spell queuing is hell on earth. Sometimes they cast 15 seconds after they're supposed to. Oh, dude, my
Mutate.
goat.
Mutate.
Okay, so they'll end up killing all these bosses.
Charges.
Let's watch Garrosh. I want to see the pop off. I want to hear the screams, baby. Oh, here we go. Last phase. Sound on.
Malice soon. Manifest rag. Vigilance Midreader. Malice soon.
Oh, we're not
Yes.
barking. Yeah, we're not doing
Malice.
that. Hey, come here. Reptar, think about it. You don't have to do
Use
it.
demoralizing banner. Use rallying cry. Soon.
Oh, okay. We're all... Okay, ruh.
Spread.
Ruh.
Bombardment.
Do you get nostalgic watching it? This boss? No, this boss was like very negative feelings for me.
Malice soon.
This was the one raid where we raided Sunday through Thursday, and we had a really low wipe on this boss that we knew we could kill it within an hour, and then we voted to raid on Friday, which is an off day, and everyone in the guild voted yes, except for one person who said no. And it wasn't that they couldn't be there. In fact, they generally streamed WoW every day. And they were online the next day during our raid times, just fucking around, not even doing anything else. They were just there. And everyone in the guild wanted to raid except for this person. They did it out of principle. And then when we logged on Sunday, we killed the boss within an hour. And we lost 5 world ranks. or something like that, we would have gotten world top 10 for the very first time. And instead we got like world, I think 11th or something like that. Yeah.
Malice.
So when we killed this boss, I had only negative feelings.
Manifest Rag.
Oh, that's
Bombardment
the
soon.
sound.
We'll be rough and fuck, bro. Hello?
Well, fucking
Oh my god, we got the mount!
Just really
We got the mount! Dude, they're happy. That's sick.
Let's fucking go, man.
Really?
That was so clean, I love it.
Let's go.
Man, that was so fun.
bro. We want to show Garish on the release. They can.
Oh, that's great.
When was the next closest person to clear? If Classic continued through all expansions, what do you think would be the first raid not to be cleared in an hour of release? This wasn't cleared in an hour. There's been a lot of raids that haven't been cleared in an hour. It just depends on the amount of bosses, really. ICC was 97 minutes on Classic as well. Yeah. How about a raid that survives a reset? On Classic, impossible unless it was tuned to be impossible. It could never. They're doing content that's already been done before. It's you know, and they can practice it an infinite amount of times before it releases. It would be impossible unless they made the gear level requirement higher than what you could obtain. With the amount of people left on MOP, I don't think there's any chance they're gonna do WAD. Huh? Is MOP Classic like dying out? Is it a casualty of there just being too many classics to pick from? Something tells me they're gonna like do every expansion, honestly. Mainly because Legion will go crazy. WAD is the interesting one where I think a lot of people like didn't like WAD. I loved WAD. WAD has great raids. But like WAD, they might struggle with WAD Classic, but Legion Classic will go crazy, I'm pretty sure. I personally know a lot of people that would like go fucking absolutely crazy on Legion Classic. Having the essence thingy instantly in Legion would go so hard for legendaries. Yeah, I'd love to see exactly how that works. Because like they did the Legion legendary thing on purpose, right? Like, we've done this conversation before, but like when Legion came out, it kind of made sense for them to do what they did. I think in 2026, and I think this might be kind of a bad thing, they can't really do the Legion legendary thing, you know? It's too it's like it's not optimal enough. Like everyone has to be optimal. Like in Legion, you could just be 5% worse than another person playing your class for like 6 months to a year because you didn't loot a legendary. That's kind of fucking crazy. Is I think 6 to 8 months until you were guaranteed to have it, but that's still a lot of time. Like, people would go crazy about that nowadays, but at the same time, Blizzard knew that and did that on purpose, so you cared more about the item when it dropped. When a legendary dropped, you were like, holy fuck, and because of that, you played the game to get legendaries to drop. But you could only feel that way if they were rare. If there was a resource you got where you could just pick one legendary you wanted, immediately your excitement about items that drop goes down. And they cared more about that than the balance. Which, honestly, I think there's a lot of viability to both. You know, they make sense. The worst part about Legion is if they keep it the same, there is one way you can definitely get your legendary you want, and that's just to do the thing that we found out about now but didn't do then, which is make mirrors. Because the way they made legendaries drop was everyone got like 2 within the first like 2 to 3 weeks, and then they raised the soft cap to 4, and like almost everyone you knew looted like 3 and 4, and if you didn't happen to get your best legendary by then, you were fucked for like a really long time. But if you just made multiple characters and you got a bunch of rolls of 4, you're bound to get it on something. I mean, there's clear proof of what you're saying. The Shadowlands legendaries are basically the same power-wise, but nobody cared about them. Yeah, because you could craft one you wanted. People did do mirrors back then. Very, very seldomly. So we were in a top 5 guild in the world in Legion. We weren't day rating, but we were in a top 5 guild in the world. In fact, we were the #1 guild that was not like one of the top 4 guilds that was rating 16 hours a day. We were rating 5 hours a day. We had one singular player make a mirror. So to say it was like widespread is, I just did, like, people did it, but it was extremely rare. So you had more pash. Dude, honestly, mirrors didn't even really catch on until like, shit, when did they catch on? Amirdrasil? Sanctum? It wasn't fucking Sanctum. So Echo made a bunch in Castle Nathria, and then they lost, and then they didn't do them in Sanctum of Domination because it seemed like it didn't matter, and we didn't do them in Castle Nathria or it was Sepulcher. It was Sepulcher. It was after Sanctum. Yeah, because if any guild did mirrors in Sanctum, you would have instantly won. That's the crazy thing. Like, if even one guild did one mirror character, one, in Sanctum of Domination, they would have instantly won the race. The amount of raid damage you got by just having more shadow sets from the Domination shards was insane, and we had 8 and they had 9, I think. But like, if either guild just made mirrors and had 20, you would... Sylvanas dies like 2 days earlier. Like, it was completely... It was nonsense how much better it was. Yeah, Sepulcher, I think, was... that's what I meant to say instead of Amirdrasil. Got the wrong end of expansion raid. Kind of crazy that a boss as recent as Sylvanas was still kind of sort of the Wild West. Yeah, it was still... The race was still ramping. I think we're about as ramped as we're ever going to get now, honestly. Like, if you look at, like, the innovation in, like, gearing and stuff from, like, Battle of Dazar lore all the way till now, it you know... I mean, very briefly, I could just say it was, like... Right, this is how much crazy shit's gone on. It's been like that. Like once we hit the fucking like 12 mirror character bullshit, it's barely gotten any. But like, yeah, that's when it got the most crazy. What two raids did the most change between? I don't know, man. Oh, that's a Twitch message if I've ever seen one. All right, I'll be on all weekend for the MDI, all 3 days. Very excited. Max, let us European win the MDI this weekend. Fuck no. Liquid only. Liquid are my goats. Dude, how do they know? How do they know I'm getting off stream? Ella, do you want to show them your lobster? Ella, show them your lobster. Come here. Show them. They want to see it. I want to see it. It's so dead. She destroyed the eye reptar. Hi, buddy. It's okay. Hello. Hello, reptar. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're so happy. Yeah, you're so happy. Yeah, okay. Ella, show them your lobster. Oh, it's so big. You have destroyed that thing. Can I see it? Can you guys see that it used to be a lobster? Here you go. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you guys over the weekend.